It is so good to watch to watch back Silver, a show by Rock, and seeing this anime for such a long time since back in 2021. I kind of want to first want to say here, watching Soul by Rock it brings a lot of special memories to me. It really has. It really has. It really has. Now, the anime I'm watching. I am pretty much. I need to catch up based watching this Show by Rock. Excuse me. Show by Rock Stars, which is basically episode 10. Based of this, I left up with episode 9. One person commented me and said like, "Where's episode 10? How come you didn't do a live reaction based on something?" And to be honest with you, I would basically would apologize because I have not really got really much of the chance to really basically do it. Is stuff like that. Like I said before, I've said many times before. It's just maybe I just really just didn't really maybe I got distracted with other different animes that I'm watching and stuff like that. Maybe I have or anything just basically just like that. It's nothing personal or anything like that. I don't want people to really think that or anything like that. It's just sometimes I really get kind of busy or sometimes I get distracted. But some things I need to do. But I want people to really basically really understand here. And it's basically that this is something that I definitely do enjoy, love watching. Shovel Rock is a very dear anime, very close dear to my heart and stuff like that. It really actually is, and I definitely really enjoy. I definitely really love it. It's something I really definitely do enjoy. I want to rewatch all of the new animes and all the not skip the old animes on Shovel Rock and stuff like that. That's something I definitely do really want to watch and stuff like that. And I remember like doing my first reviews based for Shovel Rock season 1. I remember I talked about like what it means to be part of a band, like how they work together and stuff like that. And excuse for a second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Anyways, um, they work together as a band, learn how to play the drums, play guitar, and sing together and stuff like that. Work as a team and stuff like that. And basically stuff like that. Said many times before when it comes to K-On! And stuff like that. Is a very great example and stuff like that. Writing a new song or writing maybe like doing a remake maybe of songs or artistic based of a song or something like that. To be honest, I'm not really big fans of this artistic based of songs because I'm not really a big fan of those because I kind of like the newer songs. Basically, I kind of not skipping on the newer songs. I kind of like the older songs, basically a lot more better because they have more of a vibe. And that's something that I really definitely like. Now, I don't want people to really think that I hate artistic songs because I really don't. It's just something that I'm just not really. It's not really based for me. It doesn't really give me the hype and stuff like that when I listen to my favorite songs and stuff like that. I've listened to all different kind of different genres, different songs when it comes to Christian, gospel, rap, R&B, rock and roll, country, all the different kind of stuff, all the different other kind of music and stuff like that. I have listened to some jazz, basically back in the past. I never heard any opera music. Maybe I might have heard just a little bit, but I'm not really the big fan. I'm not a huge fan of opera music. I know some people that definitely do like opera music because that's something that people definitely do like. But basically when it comes to this episode, it's really very very important, basically for a band, and saying like, hey, maybe their fans will say like they say like. Maybe they should write a new song. Maybe they really should. Maybe we want to listen to a brand new song and stuff like that. That's what they really want to do. And because sometimes fans do you want to hear like different projects and stuff like that that basically come up with and stuff like that, and that's what they definitely want, and to be respectful, and I don't want people to basically be disrespectful and stuff like that, and I want people to really understand here replacing the old and putting the new is something that I don't feel is basically is a good thing or basically is a bad thing, but it's something I feel personally to me is that I don't feel is not really right in my opinion. Take as for example as Linkin Park, Chester Bennington. He passed away a long time ago. I think it was back in 2012 or 2014. I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was right around there. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. Personally, to be honest with you, I understand the new theme. I understand the new vocalist for Linkin Park. She's a really great singer. I think her name is Emily. I understand that she's a really great singer. I'm not the biggest fan of her basic singing for Linkin Park. I'm not saying I hate her or anything like that. But personally, I really definitely do really want to say here is that I think they should have just retired. That's just my opinion. That's what I definitely think. If I was basically was in that band Linkin Park, I would just basically just retire. That's something I would definitely would do because getting a new vocalist for basically for the band is not and basically for me it's not really a good thing. Sometimes it can really can fit for other different bands out there. For other different bands out there, definitely I definitely do understand that, but that's just that's just my opinion. That's what I definitely think, stuff like that. To personally, to be honest with you, I'm not saying I don't like her. I'm not saying I hate her or anything like that. I just don't agree to it. I think they should have just basically retired and just basically get a gimmick person that sounds like Chester Bennington is just something that to me, in my own view, I just don't feel that's just not right. That's just my opinion. That's just what I definitely do think. That's just not a replacement for lead vocalist basically in a band. When you have that and stuff like that, sometimes it's very very hard to for them to make music basically that way, and it really actually is. And sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes it can't be kind of hard for some people to basically to listen to those old nostalgia songs and stuff like when it comes to Michael Jackson, Garth Brooks, or Christian artists or whoever it is that maybe that makes their music and stuff like that. It really basically actually is. I know my music really a lot, but I really don't know it really all that much. But really all that much. But I definitely do understand the different genres when it comes to music and stuff like that. But I want people to really also understand when you go to festivals or go to concerts or go different locations and stuff like that and perform before your fans and stuff like that. You gotta be at your best. And you gotta try to do the very best you can and stuff like that. That's what you basically what you try to do. And sometimes fans will probably just walk away and say like, well, they don't sound like what we used to listen to. And sometimes fans will basically get distracted from that, and then will say like, yeah, we used to like them back then, but they're not used to the same really basically that they really basically have to definitely are. Competition is very very important. It's a very important aspect when it comes to when it comes to basically other different genres. When it comes to sports, wrestling, or racing, or basically other different things, or other different things. When it comes into the music world, it's a really tough reality basically out there. It's a very stressful. I can imagine it's a very stressful situation. It really actually is. I can't really imagine myself being on stage with probably a million people basically on stage. I mean, not on stage. I mean, a million people probably watching me. I would personally be very, very extremely nervous. But would I be prepared for that? To be honest with you, I wouldn't be prepared for it, but I will have to basically be aware of the circumstances of basically what's going to happen and stuff like that. And when you have that atmosphere basically of that, it grows a popularity for a lot of people to really basically see you. And sometimes basically a popularity can be small. It can turn into big or huge or humongous and stuff like that. Basically, that's basically what it feels to me. If you look at basically for example of Selena, basically that's for herself. She started out very very small. She started in a restaurant and she started growing into basically into the fair, and then she started growing into more of the concerts, and then she started growing, and she got really so big. She became such one of the biggest Mexican celebrities, basically in Hispanic music, and she really actually is. She really actually is. She also did an English album. I think she only did like one English album, or maybe two. I'm not sure. I think she did one. But if you look back in the past through music, you can understand the different genres when it comes to other different music, when it comes to gospel, Christian music, R&B, rap, or or country music, or pop music, or rock and roll music, heavy music, or maybe something more different and stuff like that. People do have different flavors of music. To be honest with you, I happen to like heavy rock and roll uh, music. I do love pop music. I do really do. But I like the old genre music that I used to love to listen to basically back in the past. But to be honest with you, could I want it? Could I want it now? Yes, I would really want it now. But you know what? I can't really count my chicken eggs before they hatch because I can't get what I want. That's what it basically what it feels to me. I've heard a lot of great bands back in the past. Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Eminem back in the days, the Biscuits, Corn, Slipknot, Disturbed. All of those other different country, all of those different singers. Basically, back in the day, I love old country music. I really do. I love listening to it. The new country music, I don't like. I just don't like it. It sounds like it's kind of like a rock and roll country kind of country music, kind of like rap. That is not country music. That's just my opinion. That's what I definitely think, and basically stuff like that. But personally, to be honest with you, I do respect the new era, basically of music, but I just don't care for it really that much. It's not something I really definitely love, but that's something for people, for the new generation, for them, they probably would think their music, they'll probably say, well, our music is better than retro and stuff like that. So, yeah. This is a very good summary. Basically, when it comes to music, and when it comes to basically anime being in music also well too. Anime being in music is a big deal. It's a huge deal. It really actually is. That's what help them to get the flow into the cash for them to promote their music basically into an anime, and that's a really big deal. That's a huge deal, and it really actually is. That goes for movies also as well too. If their songs or their movies or their songs get promoted based into a movie, that's a big deal also as well too. They can get paid really good revenue for that. That's really huge. That's really big. That's really a big thing as a step like that. Because if you were to have your song to basically promote it basically into a movie, like I said before, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. And I definitely do think that it's really such a great foundation, and it really actually is and stuff like that. And that can really attract a lot of people and say like, hey, I like the way she sings, or hey, I like the way he sings, or I like the way they sing, or etc. And then they'll probably say, we gotta get their albums, we gotta download their songs and stuff like that. To be a person, to be honest with you, I don't mind listening, downloading songs, but it's basically my own view. I like getting the CD covers because that's something I'd really love to get because I'm not really a big fan when it comes to listening to digital. Downloading. I don't mind it, but I like the old style basically back then. But I definitely want to say here is that when it comes to basically having a band, you want to mix things up. You want to mix things up when it comes into a new and into a kind of a new, into a kind of mid, and into a kind of old. If you really definitely do that, you probably get a good vibe. You probably get a good vibe from other different bands and stuff like that, and basically do collaborations basically with other different bands, which that definitely is a very good thing. If you look at Scarlets, or whatever you want to call it, excuse me, I think they did a collaboration with Korn, which I definitely do think that was brilliant, and I definitely do think it really was, and stuff like that. Scarlet or Scarlet, not Skillet, not Skillet, not the Christian band Skillet. I'm talking about Scarlet or whatever you want to call it or something like that. It's a techno band or something like that. I don't know. It's some kind of techno music. I'm not really that. I don't care for techno music really all that much. Dubstep stuff music. I really don't care for it really that much. I'm not saying I hate it, but it's very enjoyable to listen to. I definitely do think so. It definitely really actually is. But I definitely do think it is. It is very enjoyable. But like I said, there's all different kinds of different genres, this kind of music that people definitely do like. But that's what basically feels to me. If I were to basically start my own career and stuff like that, I will basically just do something simple. That's what I basically would do. I wouldn't basically go to the hard path, and this is what I want to do. But when I want to compete to basically just go on American Idol, no, because the reason why I don't want to, because the competition is way too broad and it's way too big, and I'd rather focus myself into more of an area where I can get a contract and where I can to win and stuff like that. But if people want to be on American Idol, that's fine. That's I mean that's up to them. But I think the competition is way too broad. That's my opinion. That's what I definitely do think. But yeah. Anyways, that's it for this hand review, or I would say music video review. I would definitely say, but I definitely would personally would definitely say if I were basically if I was the manager of those boys or whoever it is or stuff like that, I would personally just tell them, just be yourself. Don't try to mimic other different bands basically out there miss out there, but just basically just get little details and stuff like that, how they present themselves, and then that may help you out basically into the future if you develop a new song that can create a lot of good generation for a lot of different fans, and that's a really great thing, and I definitely think that it really is. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this video. Tell me what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me or disagree with me? What you guys on results based on the anime based on self? What you guys on results based on what Duffy or is definitely going to go? I'm hoping that they would go basically in a direction where they want to lift up their image basically for themselves as for not just based as for a band, not just based as for a brand, but just based as to what they can promote themselves by being a band. That's what they should do. So yeah. But yeah, anyways, so I'll see you guys there. Take care. Hope you guys one day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit like, give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Doesn't matter to me. And please leave a comment below. I love you guys. Take care. Hope you guys have one today. And I'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye.